My previous diet consisted of mostly meat, junk food, and rice. Last year, I set a goal to live a 90 to 95% whole food plant-based lifestyle and outdid myself. Hi, my name is Grizel and I'm a physical therapist in Florida with 9 years of clinical experience. People say I'm a health nut. I am passionate about eating healthy and exercising regularly, so we don't just add years to our lives, but also add life to our years. So what I'm about to share with you is my experience, my story. I do recommend that you read the actual scientific literature about whole food plant-based diets and its benefits, but I understand that even though learning about numbers and statistics is important, some people want to hear an actual human being share their experience about this diet. The decision I made was based on how I chose to apply the balance of evidence I found in plant-based nutrition. So quickly, what is this diet? A whole food plant-based diet is an eating pattern that is based on two principles. First, whole foods. You focus on eating natural or minimally processed ingredients and minimizing on the refined and ultra-processed foods. Second, plant-based, meaning food that come from plants, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, while minimizing or avoiding animal-based foods such as beef, pork, chicken, eggs, and dairy. For this to be sustainable for me, I needed a little bit of flexibility. I chose to minimize animal-based foods and ultra-processed foods, but not avoid them totally. The whole food plant-based diet is not the same as being vegan, which is based on ethical reasons. There is a lot of overlap, but the main difference is that a vegan diet, which is 100% plant-based diet, can include junk food, imitation meats, and cheeses. To add a little bit of context, let me share with you why I chose to eat this way. I was diagnosed with a metastatic thyroid cancer 12 years ago that spread to my lungs. I had a thyroidectomy and the radiation and all that. Plus, I have bad genes. There's heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, and other types of cancer in my family's medical history. Now, I learned that out of the top 10 killers of our society, 7 of those are chronic diseases that are caused by our bad lifestyle habits. Ever since I was sick, I was in constant search for the healthiest, sustainable lifestyle for me. One that would help me maintain a healthy weight, cholesterol, and maintain good blood sugar levels. One that would help me do the things I love for longer, in addition to physical exercise. So I could walk outside without a walker with my grandchildren when I'm 80. In addition to the medical treatments I received from my doctors, I wanted to do my part so I can live my best life and prevent my cancer from getting worse. I am not expecting a complete disease reversal at this point. After years of trying different things and researching here and there, I finally came across the whole food plant-based diet. I read a lot of books and studies before I was convinced to finally try this. Sometimes there are irreversible consequences to having medical conditions like mine. And it also matters to what extent has your disease impacted your health. Please note that all my doctors know what I am doing. This is very important, especially for those who have medical conditions and or taking prescribed medications like me. I feel blessed to have doctors who listen to me and value my goals. They all think what I'm doing is a good thing, and they've added some blood tests to my routine checkups like iron, vitamin B12, folate, and all that stuff. So why did I choose 90 to 95% whole food plant-based lifestyle, and what is the 5 to 10% for? I have 2 reasons. First, for being human. I try not to be obsessed with absolutes and being perfect. I admire those who can do this 100%. That's amazing. But I've had a bad case of perfectionism when it comes to food in the past years. I know my tendencies, and a little room for error is necessary for my mental health. So for my unique personality and for the other people in my life who don't eat this way, I chose to have little room for occasional animal-based foods and junk food. My second reason is the blue zones. Collectively, these people eat a predominantly plant-based lifestyle, and a lot of them do eat some meat occasionally, but they still have the best health outcomes. How did I do it? I didn't hire a coach or enrolled in a course in the beginning. I think if I did, my transition would have been easier. Instead, I designed my own transition program for me and my husband, and it lasted for 3 weeks because science says my body needs time to adjust to the fiber. After that, in the first week of June 2022, my husband and I made the decision that from this day on, we're gonna be the type of people who eat whole plant foods for good health. In order to have a visual of my progress, I counted how many times I ate animal-based foods and junk foods for the first year that I started this journey. I wanted to see if I was actually reaching my goal and to see if this approach would work for me long term. On average, I eat 3 times a day. Multiply that by 365. That's 1,095 meals per year. I ate animal-based foods a couple times per month. And as you can see, the most time that I did that was in December. And I attended lots of parties in December. The number of times that I ate junk food and animal-based products was 42 total. And 42 out of the 1,095 meals, that's like nothing. So approximately, I achieved a 96% whole food plant-based diet. I lost 8 pounds during the first 3 months, from 134 to 126 pounds. I only check my weight once a month, and it fluctuates between 126 to 129 pounds. It usually stays between there. There's not much of a difference in my before and after photos, although I noticed more difference in my midsection area, but I really didn't have a lot of weight to begin with. I had my blood work done prior to starting this diet and then 6 months afterwards, and I was impressed by my results. My cholesterol came down from a high-risk zone to an ideal range by 43 points. I feel the healthiest I've ever been so far. For the first time, my cancer biomarkers went down 70% from my baseline. My white blood cells, which have always been low for many years, finally are now within normal levels. Then we repeated the same test 2 months later, and my cancer biomarkers went down another 5%. 1 year after I started this journey, I went through a series of labs and scans, and my doctor finally told me that my cancer is now in remission. Please take note, these are my results. Other people may have similar or different results from this way of eating. There's a lot of nuance in science nutrition, but generally, based on studies, and also in my case, eating mostly a whole food plant-based diet works. And no, I am not protein deficient. Do I look protein deficient? Have you seen someone with a protein deficiency? Because I have at work, and it's not common. Those patients that did have protein deficiency are not even vegans or vegetarians, and it's not even the main diagnosis. And it's usually because they weren't eating enough calories for a long time. It's also important to note that I was already exercising regularly prior to changing my diet. So were my good blood results caused by my plant-based approach alone? Or could it be a combination of my other healthy habits and my diet change, which was probably the only missing piece of the puzzle? There are 4 things that I did to avoid going back to my old habits. Number 1, I plan my meals every week. Number 2, I constantly learn new recipes and meat swaps for the dishes that I already love. This is the one that excites me the most. So instead of using pork or beef or chicken, I swap it for tofu or beans or mushrooms. Number 3, I stopped buying meat, poultry, dairy, and eggs when I shop for my groceries. Number 4, I only keep plant-based foods in my home, except for some unexpired canned sardines I bought before I started this. I'm not a fan of wasting food, so I put these in the far back corner of my pantry so I don't see them, but it's there for emergencies. Is it expensive? Yes, in the beginning it was. There was a lot of experimentation and failed recipes, and my husband and I, we had to go out and explore some local restaurants so we can get ideas of plant-based recipes that we could replicate at home. It became cheap when we got the hang of it about 2 months in. Now we're saving about $50 to $70 per month from our grocery bills compared to when we were buying meat. Does it feel restrictive? I thought it would be at first, but after learning so many new recipes and making plant-based versions of the dishes that I already know, with my 90 to 95% approach, it doesn't feel restrictive at all. Some people think I only eat salads, but that's not true. You can do so much more with whole plant foods. They offer so many flavors. And I'm not eating the same 3 dead animals. Does it require a lot of effort? In the beginning, yeah. Just like if you're learning a new skill or a new sport. Planning, buying ingredients, cooking at home, it does require effort. But you see, too much convenience around food is one of the reasons why we're having all these chronic illnesses in the first place. If your health is really important to you, you'll make time for it. And there are many strategies to make the plant-based lifestyle lifestyle work for you, so eventually it becomes automatic. I made a system that is based on my personal circumstances and needs, and you can make your own customized plan for yourself. Is this something that I could possibly do for many years to come? Yes. The other diets that I've tried before only lasted for an average 3 months or less. I've done this plant-based thing for a year now and I feel great. The best thing about this is I don't have to be perfect. 90 to 95%. There is room for error. There is room for that little piece of turkey on Thanksgiving. I can eat a little bit of prime rib on Christmas, and I can have cake at my friend's birthday party. What matters is your overall diet pattern. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel for my latest videos. Thank you.